My beloved child, something awakened inside you the very moment these words reached you. You did not arrive here by chance. I guided your attention, because there are things I have long desired to speak into your heart. These words have been prepared in the hidden places long before you were ready to receive them. This is no accident. I appointed this very moment for you, in this exact season of your life. So pause now, quiet your heart, and listen with care. Because what I am about to tell you is not ordinary. It is a message carrying the authority of heaven directly into your present situation. I have seen the burdens you have been carrying. Burdens that were never meant for you to bear by yourself. I have watched you walk through each day with a silent pain resting deep inside you. It is not the kind of pain that cries out, but the kind that stays with you from the moment you wake until you lie down again. You have remained strong for the people around you. You smiled while your heart was hurting. You kept moving ahead even when you questioned whether there was still a way forward for you. I have seen every part of it. Not one moment escaped my notice. And I tell you now with complete certainty, nothing you have gone through has been hidden from me. There is a miracle prepared for you. It carries your name. I planned it long before you entered the hardest chapters of your life. Nothing that has happened since then. Not one loss, not one door that closed, not one sleepless night when you wondered if I was still close, has changed what I have already chosen for you. But listen carefully. What has been prepared for you is also being challenged. Forces of doubt and exhaustion have been pressing against your heart, trying to persuade you that your opportunity is gone, that you waited too long, that your season has already ended. Do not believe those voices. Hear me now. The resistance you have experienced is not evidence that I forgot you. It is evidence that what I placed within your story is valuable enough to be fought over. The enemy does not waste effort attacking what carries no purpose. He focuses on those who are close to something that can change everything. If you have felt an unusual heaviness recently, a pressure you cannot fully explain, do not see it as defeat. See it as a sign that you are standing very close to a turning point. Everything that has pushed against you has failed to remove you from where you belong. You are still standing. You are still here. That matters far more than you realize. I did not come today to remind you of your failures. I am not here to revisit every mistake or point out where you came up short. That is not where my attention is. My eyes are fixed on your future. What fills my heart is what I am about to release into your life, because the time for it has come. The long season of preparation is coming to an end. Everything I have been arranging is beginning to fall into place. Soon you will notice small reminders of this. Simple confirmations. Moments that are too exact to dismiss as chance. Welcome them. They are not random events. They are my way of showing you that a new chapter has already begun. I know how long the nights have felt. I know about the hours when you lay awake while your thoughts became heavy. I know what it felt like to wonder whether your prayers were reaching me. Whether trusting me had been a mistake. Whether those around you were right when they said you expected too much. This is my answer to every one of those silent moments. I was with you the whole time. I was never far away. What seemed like silence was not distance. It was the quiet focus of a craftsman carefully shaping something that required his full attention. That craftsman was me, and what I was preparing was for you. So come near to me now. Not with fear. Not with tired hope shaped by past disappointments. Come with the steady confidence of someone whose Father has shown his faithfulness again and again through every generation. I am not beginning a new promise today. I am bringing to completion the one that has always belonged to you. I am placing the final pieces into position for the breakthrough that has already been written into the purpose I have for your life. Stand where you are. Do not give up. Do not turn around now. Declare your amen if you receive this word. I did not lead you this far so you could stay outside the life I prepared for you. From the very beginning I have been calling you forward. Every situation, every unexpected change, every confusing season, every time you were left uncertain, each one was a passage leading you somewhere. Every closed door protected you from walking into a place that was never meant for you. Every delay kept you from receiving something before you were ready to carry it. You may not have understood it then. Most people do not. But from where I see, it is completely clear. Every step has brought you to this place. And this is exactly where the next wonderful chapter begins. There is a strength inside you that you have not fully recognized. You overlook it because it never felt powerful from your point of view. It simply felt like surviving one more day. But what seems like survival to you looks like remarkable endurance from where I stand. I watched you keep trusting when everything around you suggested there was no reason to. I watched you keep reaching for hope while every visible sign seemed to point the other way. That is not weakness. That is the kind of faith I treasure. And my child, that faith will not go without reward. Remain steady. I am not asking you to create confidence by your own effort. Simply rest in who I am. Your appointed moment is drawing near. There have been voices speaking against your miracle. I want you to recognize them so you will stop allowing them to rule your heart. Those voices are not speaking from wisdom. They are speaking from fear, and they have appeared in many different ways. Some came through people close to you, people who care about you but whose own hope has grown weak. They looked at your situation and spoke only from the limits of what they believed possible. Their words were not spoken with bad intentions, but they did not come from me. Do not carry them any longer. Some of the strongest opposition has come from your own thoughts. The voice that tells you it is too late. The voice that reminds you of every effort that failed. The voice that counts your age, your resources, your past mistakes, and decides there is no reason left to hope. That voice knows exactly where your deepest wounds are. It speaks so reasonably that it almost sounds wise. But it is the oldest lie that has ever been spoken. It told Sarah that her season had already passed. It told the disciples that the sealed tomb was the end of the story. And every single time it was wrong. And those same lies are wrong about you. I want to show you the three main ways this resistance tries to work against your heart, so you will recognize it as soon as it appears. The first is the spirit of doubt. It asks questions that are not meant to lead you to truth, but to shake your confidence. What if it does not happen this time? What if I am the one left out? What if I misunderstood everything? When those thoughts begin to settle in your mind, answer them with my word. Speak what I have already declared over your life. Say out loud the promises I have given you. My word spoken through your lips is the strongest answer to every quiet whisper of doubt. The second is the spirit of impatience. It tells you to stop waiting and take control yourself. It makes every season of waiting seem pointless. It tries to convince you that if I truly planned to act, I would have done it already. So it encourages you to accept things far below what I prepared, to settle for what is available now instead of waiting for what is best. Do not follow that voice. Impatience has caused many to miss the very blessing I was about to place in their hands. They rushed through the nearest door and never reached the one I was preparing to open. Living faith waits. It keeps praying. It keeps declaring, holding on, and trusting my timing even when the waiting feels long. The third is the spirit of comparison. It pulls your attention toward other people's lives and fills your heart with dissatisfaction. Why did their answer come so soon? Why does it seem their life is moving while mine stands still? Comparison was created to exchange gratitude for resentment. And resentment becomes a burden that closes the very hands meant to receive. Your journey is not their journey. What I prepared for you cannot be given to someone else. It was designed for your life, your needs, and the unique purpose I placed within you on this earth. Another person's blessing says nothing about yours. If your heart is willing, speak these words now. Say, I trust your timing. I trust your way. I believe your promise is coming to me, and I will not lose it because of fear. Stand in agreement if your heart responds with yes. Now let me remind you of a man named Peter. He spent an entire night on the water doing what he knew how to do. He was not lazy. He was not lacking faith. He worked through the darkness using every skill he had. Yet morning came with empty nets. No catch, only weariness and the quiet disappointment of a night that produced nothing. You understand that feeling. You know what it is like to pour yourself into something and still have empty hands. The effort was real. The tiredness was real, but nothing seemed to come from it. Then I met Peter by the shore and gave him a command that made no sense from his point of view. Go back out, cast your net once more. He had already done that, again and again throughout the night. Yet something inside him answered my voice. He returned to the water. He did not wait until he felt certain. He did not ask me to explain everything first. He simply obeyed while he was tired and while every past result told him nothing would change. Then everything changed. The catch was so great the nets could hardly hold it. My child, I stand beside your story today speaking that same kind of word to you. Not because I ignore how weary you are. Not because I have forgotten the long nights you have walked through. I have seen every one of them. But I also see what is waiting just ahead of you. I know what is there if you will step forward one more time. The moment you choose trust while every feeling tells you not to, is the moment impossible things begin to become real. Do not stop now. You are much closer than those empty nets have made you believe. What I prepared truly exists. It is personal and it belongs to you. There is something important I want you to notice about Peter's story. I did not ask him to do something remarkable. I simply asked him to do the ordinary thing one more time. The very same action that had failed all night, but this time because I had spoken. That was the difference. The action stayed the same. His heart changed completely. He moved from relying on himself to trusting me in obedience. That is the change I am calling you into today. So return to the water, my child. Go out once more, not with striving but with trust. The deep water ahead is where I am waiting for you. Now I want to speak about something that may sound simple, yet it carries great importance. I want to speak about your words, the things you say about yourself, your circumstances, and your future. The words that leave your mouth are more than sounds that disappear. They are seeds. They enter the ground, take root, and produce fruit, whether you realize it or not. When you say you will never make it through, you are building barriers. When you say it is too late for you, you are finishing the story before it reaches its ending. When you keep saying nothing ever works out for you, you are agreeing with the opposition and shutting the place where my provision wants to move. I am not asking you to deny what is real. I am asking you not to let what you see become the highest authority. My word is the highest authority, and my word says I will provide for you. My word says I have not forgotten you. My word says the greatest things I have prepared for you are still ahead. This is not pretending. It is choosing agreement. When your words come into agreement with my promises, something begins to move where your eyes cannot yet see. Faith-filled agreement opens the way. Words rooted in my truth create room for my power to work beyond what your circumstances can explain. So beginning today, I want you to be careful with the words you speak. Not because I am standing over you counting every sentence, but because I am your Father and I know what your words shape inside your heart and around your life. Say this. What I am facing is not the end of my story. My greatest days are still ahead. The one who holds my future is faithful, and I trust him with every part of my life. Speak those words. Speak them again whenever you need to. Let your own ears hear your own voice declaring them. Because the faith I am calling you into does not wait until evidence appears before it speaks. It speaks first, and then waits for what was promised to appear. Now let me tell you about a woman who understood this before she ever spoke a word. She had lived with sickness for 12 long years. Not 1 year, not 2, 12. She had tried every treatment available to her. She had spent everything she possessed searching for help. Yet her condition remained the same. From a human point of view, the evidence seemed overwhelming. There were 12 years proving otherwise. There were empty hands, a worn-out life, and every practical reason to believe that change would never come. But something awakened inside her that went beyond human reasoning. It was faith. Faith does not follow the same logic that human thinking follows. She heard that I was near, and she came toward me. She did not wait for a sign. She did not wait until someone gave her permission. She did not wait until she felt completely confident. She moved first. She believed that if she could come close enough to touch even the edge of what I carried, it would be enough. The instant she acted on that faith, healing flowed from me into her so quickly that I knew power had gone out from me. 12 years of striving could not accomplish what one moment of faith accomplished, because she chose to act before she saw the result. She moved first, and then she witnessed the miracle. That is the kind of step I am asking you to take today. Do not wait until everything finally feels right. Do not hold back until your circumstances become easier to believe. Instead, move forward in trust with what is already before you. Because when faith begins to move, I move with it. Your miracle is not waiting for your circumstances to improve. Your circumstances are waiting for your faith to take a step. Every breakthrough begins with a moment when someone chooses to act before all the evidence is visible. Every story I have written that changed a life started with someone trusting me at the very place where trust seemed least reasonable. That is the place I have been preparing you for, and that moment is here. My child, I ask you to place a portion of what you have, something that truly matters to you, upon the altar of this work, like precious gold placed upon the scales of this calling. Let it become a seed planted in deep waters, an offering laid down without fear or hesitation. It is a sign that your confidence rests in me as your provider, and that your heart is no longer ruled by the fear of not having enough. Whatever you release through faith is not lost from your life. It goes before you into the harvest I am preparing. I did not bring you to this moment so you would leave unchanged. Something is meant to change inside you here. Do not simply hear these words, enjoy them for a moment, and then return to everything exactly as before. Faith that never becomes action is not the faith that moves mountains, but faith that steps forward while uncertainty remains, even with shaking hands. That is the faith I have always honored. That is the faith that changed history through ordinary people who simply trusted me more than they trusted their fears. What I am placing before you cannot be reached by standing still. You will reach it by moving forward, by making a choice, by letting go of what has held you back, and reaching toward what I have prepared for you. The woman received her healing because she kept moving toward me. She did not receive it while talking herself out of believing. Let this moment become that kind of moment for you. Come toward me now. Take one step. I will meet you there. There is something important I want you to understand about every season of waiting you have walked through. None of it was punishment. None of it was because I neglected you. Every delay had a purpose. Even the quiet ones. Even the seasons that lasted longer than you thought they should. What feels from your side like wasted time is often, from where I stand, time being used with perfect care. I never allow your seasons to pass without meaning. I do not handle time carelessly. Abraham and Sarah carried my promise for 25 years before they saw it fulfilled. 25 years. Think about what that means in a person's life. Year after year they held on to my promise without seeing proof around them. Year after year time itself appeared to argue against what I had spoken. Every reasonable voice would have said the opportunity had passed. Nature agreed, age agreed, human reasoning agreed, but my word never changed. My word never expires. And when the moment I had planned finally arrived, Sarah's laughter overflowed with joy. What she received was not less than I had promised, because of the waiting. It was exactly what I had spoken, carrying even greater meaning, because it had survived every reason to doubt. Your waiting has not weakened what I prepared for you. It has given it greater depth. Every year you stayed faithful during difficult seasons has been remembered by me. Every time you chose trust while there was little evidence, I saw it all. What is coming to you carries the full measure of everything I planned before your waiting ever began. The delay never reduced the promise. The delay prepared the one who would receive it. Now let me remind you of Hagar. She found herself alone in the wilderness with nothing left. The water had run out. Hope seemed gone. She placed her child at a distance, because she could not bear to watch what she believed would happen. She believed she had reached the end of every possibility. Yet in that place I opened her eyes, not to something newly created, but to a well that had already been there all along, waiting where she could not see it through her despair. I did not make a new source for her that day. I simply allowed her to see what I had already placed nearby. It had always been there. She could only see it after she cried out to me. My child, listen carefully. There are things I have already placed around you that discouragement has hidden from your sight. Sources of provision, open opportunities, people prepared to become part of your breakthrough. Things already present within the landscape of your life. You have spent so much time looking at what is missing that you have overlooked what is already close to you. So I ask you now to let me open your eyes. Not to something arriving from far away, but to what I have already prepared and placed within your reach. Then think about Job. He understood what it meant to lose almost everything that mattered. Nearly everything that shaped his life disappeared in a short time. The people around him gave explanations that were completely wrong, reaching conclusions based on a view too small to understand what I was doing. Job did not understand his situation. Still, he held on. He questioned me, but he did not walk away from me. He brought me his grief and his confusion, and he remained with me through it all. When that long season finally ended, I restored him beyond what he had before. Not a smaller copy of what was lost, but something greater and richer. I am the God who restores. That is not only something I say, it is what I do. The things you believe are gone forever are not beyond my work. Relationships you believe can never be healed are still within my reach. Strength you think has disappeared forever can still be renewed by me. Dreams you laid aside because they seem to belong to a younger version of yourself have not been forgotten. I placed those dreams inside your heart. They did not begin with you. They came from me. And because they came from me, I fully intend to bring them to life. The years you believe were lost are not gone to me. I intend to repay them with overflowing goodness. Every season of waiting is followed by a season of restoration, and that season is drawing near for you. Even now I am arranging every detail. I am placing the right people, shaping the right situations, and moving pieces you cannot yet see. I never prepare carelessly. When I work ahead for your life, I do it with complete understanding of every part of your need. Nothing is happening by guesswork. Everything has already been planned. And when what I have prepared meets the heart I have been preparing, what unfolds will be greater than anything you could have imagined during the waiting. You are nearer to that moment than you have ever been before. Much nearer. The light that once seemed far away is now close enough for you to feel its warmth. Open your heart to receive it. Do not retreat into the safety of expecting very little. Choose to believe once more that my words are true. Not because you have already seen every answer, but because I have never failed to fulfill what I have spoken. Keep your expectation open. Keep it wide. I do not work in small portions. I am filling every place you have placed before me, and I intend to fill it until it overflows. The restoration I have prepared is not incomplete. It is not a lesser version of what once was. It is the fullness returned, marked everywhere by my faithfulness. What I restore to you will not appear reduced. It will reveal abundance. Now I want to speak about something that may be one of the greatest burdens you carry without fully seeing it. It is the pain left by people. The wounds caused by those who should have been safe. The betrayals that came from places you never expected. The disappointment of trusting others who did not protect that trust. You have spoken little about many of these things. They remain in the quiet places of your heart, but I see them all. I know how much strength it has taken to carry what was never yours to bear. There are people in your story who caused you pain. Some knew exactly what they were doing. Some never understood the hurt they left behind. Some were carrying their own brokenness and passed it on, because that was all they had during that season. Some you have already forgiven, but others you still hold tightly. That unforgiveness, my child, is a chain. It does not punish the one who hurt you. It keeps you tied to the place where the wound was made, making it harder to walk into what I have prepared ahead. I am not asking you to act as though nothing happened. It did happen. I am not asking you to return to unsafe places or trust someone who has not earned that trust again. Wisdom and forgiveness can live together. You can forgive completely while still guarding your life with wisdom. What I ask from you is clear. Release the desire to repay wrong with wrong. Lay that burden in my hands. I see everything and I judge every matter with perfect justice. That responsibility is not yours. It belongs to me. When you let that weight go, something changes inside you that cannot happen any other way. Room is created. Not only in your emotions, but in your spirit. Room for new things to enter. Room for me to move freely. Part of the breakthrough you have longed for is waiting beyond that release. Not because I refuse to bless you until you perform perfectly, but because bitterness has been closing your hand. An open hand receives. A closed one cannot. Think carefully about this. The places where you were broken, and then allowed me to heal you have become your strongest places. When a broken bone heals correctly, it often becomes stronger where it once fractured. The place that broke becomes firmer than before. Your healed wounds are not signs of weakness. They have become your greatest strength. The enemy used his strongest attacks there, and still those places endured. What does that reveal? It shows that you are stronger than you have believed. It shows that you have already lived through what was meant to stop you. I am the God who gives new beginnings. That is not simply a name. It is the pattern of every life I touch. No matter how often someone has fallen, no matter how far they wandered, I am never finished writing their story. Every sunrise speaks this truth. It is mercy you can see. It declares that your story is still unfolding. It reminds you that today still holds possibilities yesterday could not remove. You have not reached the end of new beginnings. You have not exhausted the fresh starts I prepared for your life. I know you lowered your expectations because you wanted to avoid more pain. You decided not to hope too much so disappointment would hurt less if things failed again. I understand why you built those walls. They were formed from real hurt, but they are also keeping you from receiving what I desire to place in your hands. So I am asking you to slowly remove those walls. Not so you become careless, but so you become open again to the goodness I am bringing toward you. It is not an illusion. It is not something that will disappear the moment you reach for it. It is real. It is lasting. It is worthy of your trust. You do not have to become someone else before receiving what I have prepared. You do not have to present a more polished, more confident, or more spiritual version of yourself. I already know who you are when no one else is watching. I have seen every part of you. Every mistake, every fear, every silent doubt, and I chose you completely, not an improved version of you. My acceptance of you does not depend on you becoming better first. It is already finished. Rest in that truth. Let it settle inside you. You do not have to earn what I freely give. Simply receive it. Lift your eyes now. Stop looking only at yesterday's losses and old wounds. Your future will not be controlled by your past. I have placed what lies ahead beyond the reach of everything behind you. Now I invite you to walk into it with freedom, leaving behind every chain that has kept you tied to yesterday. If your heart is willing, speak these words aloud. Say, I release what has held me back. I move forward. I receive what has been prepared for me. If your spirit agrees, let those words become your declaration of faith. I am here holding everything you have placed in my hands. None of it will be wasted. Not one part of your journey. Not the waiting, not the struggle, not the surrender. Every part remains safely in my hands. And whatever I hold, I change. Every part of your life rests in the hands that shaped creation itself. Those hands can always be trusted. When my hands receive something, they never return it unchanged. I return it restored, made stronger, and increased. You are completely secure with me. There is something I want to tell you that perhaps no one has said to you for a very long time, or maybe never quite like this. I am pleased with you. Not because you achieved everything perfectly, or walked every step without falling. I am pleased the way a loving parent is pleased with a child who keeps standing up again. I am pleased because you continued coming to me again and again, even when it seemed as if only you were speaking. I am pleased with every morning you got out of bed and kept moving when everything inside you wanted to quit. The world decides a person's worth by results. I do not. I look at the heart that kept believing when there was no visible reward for believing. And what I see in your heart is precious to me. You have shown kindness to those who never gave it back. You remained patient through situations that stretched you to your limits. You stayed generous during seasons when you yourself had very little. None of those things escaped my notice. Not one of them. The seeds you planted through quiet faithfulness have not disappeared. They have continued growing. They have continued building. Now you are moving into the season where the harvest from all those unseen acts of faithfulness is beginning to appear. Now let me show you what I see waiting ahead. Because this season will not be like the ones before it. What is coming carries a different nature. It is not simply a small improvement in your situation. It is a true step into a new place in your life. Doors that stayed shut will open without your forcing them. People who have an important place in your journey will arrive at the right moment. Opportunities that once seemed impossible to reach will come close to you, not because you chased after them, but because I directed them toward your path. This is not empty encouragement. This is what happens when the season of preparation finishes and the season of release begins. I also want you to understand something important about what I am bringing. The blessing that is coming is not only for your own life. Your miracle will reach much farther than you realize. There are people whose hope has become weak. People standing very close to giving up. People who need to witness with their own eyes that I still move, that my promises still stand, and that a long wait never means I have forgotten. When your story reaches the other side of this season, it will become that proof for someone else. Your testimony will accomplish in another person's heart what no argument ever could. It will show them a real life, with real hardship, real waiting, and a faithful God who remained present through every part of it. That is one reason this breakthrough has been worth every season of preparation. It is not only about what changes in your own life. As important as that is, it is also about what your changed life will speak into the hearts of others who need to know that hope is not foolish, trust is never wasted, and I am still the God who answers. You are being prepared not only to receive, but also to carry something that will touch many lives in ways you cannot yet measure. There is something else I need to prepare you for. In the days ahead, there may be one final moment of pressure before the opening comes. I tell you this so you will recognize it when it appears, not so you become discouraged. It is not evidence that everything is falling apart. It is often the place that comes just before breakthrough. The pressure becomes strongest because what is about to come forth carries great power. When you feel that pressure, do not call it defeat. See it as the sign that you are standing at the doorway. Think of it like this. Just before the sun rises, the darkness often seems deepest. Not because the light has gone away, but because the light is about to appear. That is where you are now. The darkness feels deep, but the morning truly is near. I am not saying this only to encourage you. I am saying it because it is true, and I never speak what is false. When that final test comes, do not carry it by yourself. Bring it to me. Do not keep it hidden or try to solve it only through your own understanding. Come honestly, and let me continue being what I have always been for you. Your provider, your strength, and your safe place. In that moment I will be nearer than ever. My hand will hold you. My words will rise within you. You will not fall. I have already made certain of that. And after it has passed, when you come through that final place of pressure, you will look back just as you now look back at every hardship you survived, knowing clearly that I was there, that you were never alone, and that it all served a purpose you could not yet understand. Remain steady through this final part. Do not keep measuring how much farther you think you must go. Keep your eyes on me instead. Focus on who I am instead of how long the journey still appears. I am already standing at the end of this season, and I already hold what I promised to give you. Your name is written on it. My child, I have never released my hold on you. Not in the valleys, not in the quiet seasons, not in the times when you felt invisible. My hand has never weakened its grip on your life. And I will certainly not let go now, when what I have been preparing is finally ready to be placed into your hands. You are not moving toward an ending. You are moving toward your arrival. Notice the difference. Let that truth sink deeply into your heart. This is not where the road finishes. This is where it begins to open wide. Before I finish, I want to remind you of something that has always been true about you. The hardest seasons may have hidden it, but they never erased it. You were never an accident. Your life was never the result of chance or careless circumstances. I formed you. I knew you before your first breath. I understood exactly what you would need. I knew the special strength you would develop. I knew the unique purpose that only you could carry in all of history. No one else can fulfill what you were created to do. There is no replacement and no duplicate. My design for you is unique, and no hardship you have faced has canceled that design. That is why I want you to stop asking yourself whether you are enough. That answer has already been decided. It was never based on your achievements, your past, or whether you believed yourself worthy. It rests on who I am and on the fact that I created you. I do not create anything without value. I do not bring someone through everything you have survived only to set them aside as though they were a failed work. You became exactly who I intended you to become. The seasons that shaped you accomplished their work. They removed what did not belong and revealed what was true. The person standing before me now is the most genuine version of you. The one I was always forming. Now let me tell you clearly what moving ahead looks like from this point, because it is not difficult. It does not require you to understand everything. It does not require complete certainty or the absence of questions. Moving forward simply means waking up each day and deciding to trust that I am who I say I am, and that I am fulfilling every promise I have made. That is all I ask. One day, one decision, one step, then another, and another after that. The road before you will not always be completely visible before you begin walking. That is how faith works. Faith moves because it trusts the one giving the direction, not because it already sees every part of the journey. But listen carefully. Every path I have invited my children to walk is a path I already know. There is not one step ahead that is unfamiliar to me. I have already gone where you are going. I have removed what needed to be removed. I have marked what you need to notice. I have already placed what you will need along the way. You will never walk into it by yourself. The weariness you feel today is real. I do not ask you to ignore it or pretend you have strength you do not have. But I also want you to know that what I am pouring into your body and your spirit right now does not come from your own supply. My supply never runs dry. What you need for each next step will be there when the moment arrives. Not too early and never too late, but exactly when you need it. I have never asked my children to carry more than I would sustain them through. And I have never failed to provide what was truly needed for the path I gave them. Some of what I am giving you now will come quietly. A change within a relationship, a doorway you almost pass before feeling drawn back, or a deep peace about a decision that once seemed impossible. Other things will come with unmistakable clarity, moments so obvious that you will stop and say, "This could only be you." Both are from me. Both carry my purpose. Do not overlook the quiet gifts while waiting only for dramatic ones. I speak through both, and often the quiet moments prepare the way for the greater ones that follow. From this day forward, I am calling you to walk with a different kind of confidence. Not confidence that depends only on yourself, because you already know how limited that can be, but confidence that is rooted in me. A confidence that says, I may not know how this will end, but I know the one who holds the ending, I know his faithfulness, and I trust him. That kind of confidence cannot be shaken. Nothing that rises against you can remove it, because it is built on something circumstances cannot touch. The dreams that have quietly rested inside you, the ones you hid from yourself because they seemed too great or too impossible, bring them into the light again. I placed those dreams within you. They belong there. They are not proof that you are asking for too much. They reveal what I created you to become. Hold them again with open hands instead of gripping them through fear. Trust them to me. Tell me, this is what I believe you placed inside me, and I place it back into your hands. Let me carry those dreams beside you, because the one who planted them is fully able to bring them into reality. Now move forward, my child. Do not walk with the worn-out steps of someone who only barely survived yesterday. Walk with the calm and steady steps of someone who knows they are not alone, someone who knows where the journey leads because they know the one walking beside them. What waits ahead is not a lesser life. It is not a smaller version of the future you hoped for. It is the complete life, rich with purpose and fullness, that I intended when I first called you into being. There is nothing left for you to fear. There is nothing left to keep holding back. Simply take my hand and walk forward with me. Let this become the moment when your new season truly begins. If you are ready, speak your yes aloud and take hold of my hand. I am already waiting there with every promise I made held out before you. Come. This is the moment you have been walking toward, and it is good. It is very good. We run on viewer support only. For exclusive member-only content, scan the QR or see the pinned comment. God bless you.